Back at Tropicana Field, there you see it. Sox on top 1-0, and you have not missed one pitch, because when our truck took the hit, the lights here in the ballpark also did. So Danny Wright taking some warm-up tosses, and we will resume play. If you're just tuning in, Sox scored a run in the top of the first. Ray Durham led it off. He lined hard to center field. Then a walk to Carlos Lee. Mags with a base hit to right field. A walk to Paul Konerko. That loaded the bases. Then another walk to Jose Canseco, forcing in Carlos. Perry struck out, and Aaron Rowan grounded to third. So the Sox with that one run. Jason Tyner at first base right now hit a ground ball deep in the hole to short, and Royce Clayton had no play on it. So the speedy Tyner on it first. 17 for 22 in stolen bases. So the count, a ball and 2 strikes to Brent Abernathy, who will make his way back to the plate. Also, if you're just tuning in, the D-Ray lineup very quickly: Tyner, Abernathy, Vaughn, Grieve, Wynn, Cox, Sandberg, Gomez, and Flaherty.
Well, the amazing thing about that storm that took out the power is as soon as it did take out the power, it was gone. We didn't hear any more thunder, anything going on after that.
So the outfield well around to the right, and the 1-2 pitch. Abernathy hitting at .299, 4 homers. He's driven in 20. 1 for 4 last evening, and 0 for 1 lifetime off Danny Wright. Also, if you're just joining us, that storm was something. Whew. Vicious thunder and lightning. There goes Tyner. Easily picks up his 18th, and a full count to Abernathy.
Josh, he's thrown out 20% of the attempted base stealers on the season, but I don't think you can give him much of a chance on a breaking ball down in the dirt. Best thing he could do was block it like he did, or Tyner to advance into third base, as he got an outstanding jump, and he's very fast, very fleet of foot.
Come on, Danny, no walks. And we understand that power outage was caused by a lightning strike that hit very close. So meanwhile, Danny in trouble here in the bottom of the first inning as Greg Vaughn stands in, hitting at .231, 24 homers. He's driven in 79. Greg 1 for 4 last evening with an RBI. One and 0 to the 36-year-old veteran. And Danny's had some control problems, even though his first 3 starts were very, very impressive. He's worked in now 29, checked at 28 2/3 innings. And he's given up 20 base on balls. And the count 2-0.
Well, Danny, obviously he's got a great arm. I mean, he's got the ability to be very successful, as he's already shown briefly up here, but he's also shown that he can be erratic if he's a little bit off. And you don't like being behind here in the first inning, 2-0 on a guy that's got 344 career home runs.
Three 3-0 the count. As Hal McRae turns him loose, and he can't get it.
Well, Greg Vaughn not having a great year average-wise at .231, but he's got 6 hits in his last 18 at-bats. I'll tell you, in his last 60 games, just hitting .191.
And ball hit hard and fair. Here comes Tyner. Abernathy. He's being held now at third. So we got ourselves a 1-1 tie on the missile off the bat of Greg Vaughn. That's his 23rd two-bagger.
Well, you fall behind on a guy that has struggled. You really turn the odds in his favor. He swung at 3-0, and then he gets a fastball 3-1 to back it up. So a couple of swings, cut down on that one just a little bit, and hits a bullet right inside that line.
So here's the right fielder, Ben Grieve. Grieve at 248, 9 homers. He's driven in 54. Takes low. And the count 2-0. So here comes Nardi out of the dugout. May see something in Danny's mechanics right here. And then on the other side of the page, he might be just trying to give him something positive to think about.
You know, Danny, he struggled the last few times out. Just 2/3 of an inning last time. And here tonight, this late afternoon, again, off to a very similar start to what we saw in Kansas City just on Wednesday. So the muscle memory for the pitching coach and manager are still very fresh. You see something very familiar like this, you're going to be concerned quickly. You don't want to get in a deep, deep hole like the Sox did the other day when he was out there last time.
And the game, Sox scored 2 in the top of the first inning. Kansas City came right back with 7. And the count 3-0.
It almost looks like, from what we saw before, that, I mean, you never know. Maybe he's just trying to work through some little soreness or something going on, because he does not look to be close to as sharp and as loose as we saw him delivering before.
No, not in his first 3 starts. He was crisp. And that'll load him up. No, he is very, very short on his fastball as compared to the first 3 starts versus the last 3, this being the 3rd.
Yeah, you can see he's almost cutting his release off and not reaching out and letting it go the way he did before. He's still got good velocity on it, but there's a obvious difference as he can't throw the strikes.
Here's a switch hitting center fielder, Randy Wynn. Wynn at 296 homers. He's driven in 40. 2 for 4 last night. So a 1-1 tie, Sox packed with D-Rays. Nobody out. And that's out of play. Left side.
Wynn has himself a 6-game hitting streak, hitting .488, .458 during it.
Outfield about equidistant, slightly to the left. And the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball. Danny, 23 years old, 6'5", 225 pounds. Batesville, Arkansas. Blocked nicely by Josh Paul. A ball and 2 strikes. Let's look at newly acquired Bill Pulsifer. Picked up on waivers from the Red Sox.
Billy and I have played together in Milwaukee. He's a very energetic young man.
And Jess did get a piece of that one. Sox sit down Matt Ginter who was throwing the ball extremely well.
Yeah, Matt was just getting an opportunity to pitch in quite a few more ball games coming out of the pen, and was throwing the ball better, getting used to his role on this team. And they made the acquisition of needing another left-hander to get the lefties out late in the game. So, and Pulsifer and Matt had to be the guy to move out.
As he's gone, big strikeout for Danny Wright.
Hitting sixth, first baseman, number 28, Steve Cox.
Good off-speed pitch right there from Big Danny. That's what he needs right now, a little help from some hitters. If he's not going to be able to hit his spots, got to get some hitters up there that are real aggressive, chasing bad pitches.
Steve Cox, the first baseman, stands in at 240, 7 homers. He's driven in 33. Takes that breaking ball low. D-Rays hitting at 256 as a club. Go along with that 5.24 ERA. They are 26 and 36 here at Tropicana Field. But since July 21st, against everybody, away and at home, they are 16 and 16. Now the count 2-0 to Cox.
Just mentioned, Danny right now needs some hitters to help him out.
Well, you know, Jared Sandberg on deck. There's a strike. So Joe Kennedy walked 3 guys in the first inning. Danny Wright has just walked his third of the inning, and it's a 2-1 Tampa Bay lead.
I mentioned can't let this get too far out of hand. They're going to have to get somebody up real quick. It looks like Art Kushner down in the pen. He doesn't have any contact with the dugout, so Mark Johnson goes on out and relays the message.
Well, here's Sandberg. Jared, nephew of Ryan, hitting at 280, a homer. He's driven in 7. No, tell you, if you're a hitter, from what we've seen, it'd be a real joy to play for Hal McRae, who was a terrific offensive player. Here you see Sean Lowe starting to loosen up. And the 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball, strike.
Sandberg had some strong numbers while in the minor leagues. One year hit 17 home runs, another 22. So he's a powerful guy.
First time we have seen him last night, he looked pretty good at the plate. Has some good hacks. Looks like he has a nice approach. Had a sacrifice bunt his first at bat, fly deep to left. He walked. And a good at bat for him. Then he went out to center. Vaughn at third. Grieve at second. And Cox at first. Take him right here, Danny. Full count.
On that previous fastball before that last pitch. One of the first ones, if not the first fastball that he really reached back and let go. stretched out a little bit, popped the gun at 94.
As he strikes him out, he's gone. 2 down.
Boy, I really showed you something there. He and Josh Paul work together, and what's he feature? 3-2 with the bases loaded. An off-speed pitch. That tells you he had a feeling that the young Sandberg would be aggressive on that particular count. Good job.
So that'll bring up the shortstop, Chris Gomez. Hitting at .303, 6 homers. He's driven in 20. 0 for 4 last night, and 1 for 3 against Danny back at Comiskey Park. He's going to get out of it with minimal damage. It could have been a whole lot worse. And after 1, it is 2-1 Devil Rays. Top of the 2nd inning, Royce Clayton just tried to bunt the first pitch. Fouled it off. 2-2-0 for the D-Rays. 1-1-0 for the Sox. Royce at .231, 7 homers. He's driven in 36. Ball hit hard. Look at the pick right there by Sandberg. Well, that's shades of his uncle.
That was really nice as he was playing way up on the AstroTurf. Taking the bunt away from Clayton, then he hits the bullet right at him. That's exactly what a hitter wants to do, is get that third baseman or first baseman out of position and try and blast it past him. But Sandberg's not having it as he goes down to his knees and makes a nice pick softly.
He made a nice play last evening. That'll bring up the catcher, Josh Paul. Josh at .215, no homers. He's driven in 4, takes strike 1. That's a nice play by Sandberg.
Well, it was. He didn't have much time to think. Still got down to the knees and stayed low. Josh just 1 for 4 on the trip, making his 2nd start on this 10-game road trip.
Pulls the string on him right there. Kennedy has a real good motion with that changeup. And the count 1-2.
Well, Kennedy had a lot of trouble, as did Danny Wright in the 1st inning. Looked really out of sorts. He settled down and only gave up the 1.
Yeah, that 1st inning from a pitching standpoint, an artistic one, was not very pretty. But they got by with minimal damage as Josh strikes out. 2 gone.
Yeah, from an escapage standpoint, it was outstanding.
Second baseman, number 5, Ray Darwin.
Just joining us, 6 walks issued in that 1st inning. 3 by each side. So here's Ray. Ray lined out hard to Randy Wynn in center field. Takes that tailing fastball strike. Kennedy with that good moving fastball. He's reached back and put a little giddy up on that one. One and 2 the count with Carlos Lee on deck. Off the end of the bat into left field. Jason Tyner right there. So Kennedy comes right back with a 1-2-3 inning. And after an inning and a half, he leads it 2-1. As you check out our WGN Sports Tail of the Tape here in the bottom of the 2nd, it'll be Flaherty, then back to the top of the order, and Tyner and Abernathy. John Flaherty hitting at .229, 3 homers. He's driven in 27. There's some good movement on a good pitch from Danny Wright.
Well, maybe fortunately, as Joe Kennedy settled down, Danny Wright can find his release point in this second inning and play off of each other and just get some good pitch in the rest of the game.
Plays off the hook, and the count evens at 1. That's into center field. Aaron Roll.
And I got a reminder for in-depth stats on where they hit them and everything else baseball. Log on to WhiteSox.com, your official source for Chicago White Sox stats. WhiteSox.com. Connect with it.
So here's Tyner. He started it off last inning with an infield single. Well, if this young man gets it down, as Herbert coming in on the turf at third base. He gets it down. Somebody's going to have to make a play in a hurry.
Well, he's definitely a double threat guy. Those guys that, you know, he's so fast and he is from the left side that if he can get down a bunt, a decent bunt, they got to make a play on him. At the same time, he hits the ball hard enough a lot of the time where he can just smack it past you.
2-1 the count. Well, we've talked about it so much over the past few years, as a matter of fact, about the young pitching that the Sox have brought up from the minor leagues. Pulls the string on him right there. Good motion with a good change. And you just have to resign yourself to the fact with young pitching, almost all of them, you're going to have inconsistency. Ray, yes, timed it perfectly.
Away, Ray, get up. Nice job timing it. Just had to go a little bit to his left and get up, and does exactly what he has to. 1 over and up. Very, very difficult play. And a lot of times they make it look so simple, and that's not that easy. You stand out there in batting practice, get balls hit to you like that, and you'll have a lot of them that you jump a little too soon or late for.
He put a little up on that one. Here's Abernathy. He walked and scored last inning. Takes that breaking ball high. Talked about his hitting range and his hitting zone last inning. Well, he looks like he just can cover the outside part of the plate and reacts very well to the inside pitch. There are a whole bunch of guys can't do that.
You know what? He looks like a guy that he really keeps that front shoulder closed. He's not diving across the plate, so he's keeping it closed, looking on the inner part of the plate. Hit the ball back up the middle. And if it's away from him, he's closed enough where he can reach out there and still hit that ball in the line. It's just a good approach.
Pops him up. Who's got it? Konerko taking charge. Perry. Now it's Herbert. And Danny Wright comes back with a 1-2-3 inning. We're into the third. 2-1 bad guys. A lot of Sox fans in attendance as Carlos Lee will lead off the top of the third. I think there's a rule there. A lot of Sox fans that stay at the same hotel that we do here. The Renaissance Vinoy, which is just a superb place. In fact, it's my favorite hotel in the league.
Well, it is. It's very, very nice. It's a resort type hotel. Nice atmosphere. It's beautiful.
That ball hit hard into center field. Wynn got a good jump on it. He's there, makes the catch. For Carlos, now 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the first.
And here's a reminder. The Cleveland Indians come to Comiskey Park to face the Sox August 31st through September 3rd. Tickets are available at Comiskey Park ticket windows, Ticketmaster ticket centers, or online at whitesox.com. You can also call 312-831-1-SOX.
Mags Ordonez will be the hitter. Mags a single in between first and second. Takes inside. Cleveland hitting in the top of the fourth inning at Seattle leading 1-0. Oakland leading the Tigers 1-0. That's in the top of the fifth at the Coliseum. 1-1 to count. The ball hit deep into right field. Ben Grieve is there.
I'll tell you what, there have been some balls that have been dying out there that have been hit pretty well last night and here today. Maglia hit one last night, seemed like he got into it pretty good, didn't go anywhere, and Konerko crushed one in the left center that hit the top of the fence. So I think they got the fans blowing straight in from out there in those areas. There's this swing of Mags. A nice one on it. Look, he thought he hit it pretty hard. Doesn't even go to the warning track.
So here's Konerko. He walked his first time up. Takes that curveball low and inside. And talking with Paulie after the game last night, he said he hit that ball pretty good. Two and 0 the count. Canseco on deck. And it's 3-0. Paulie now with 27 homers, 82 driven in.
Team leader in home runs and one behind Maglio in RBIs.
And there's ball 4, so that's the fourth walk issued by young Joe Kennedy.
Designated hitter, number 31, Jose Canseco.
And here comes Canseco. He walked with the bases loaded in the first, picked up his 32nd RBI. Short lead by Konerko. Has a big swing, and that pitch fouled back and out of play.
Kennedy, this season high in any game in walks in a game is 4, so he's matched it today already. He's done that twice, and in both those outings he didn't last very long. 5 innings. He did pick up a win in that ball game in his first time. And he did it last time he faced the Sox in Chicago. Walked 4.
Strike on the inside corner. 0-2 the count. Quick slide step. Give Jose just a bit of a different look.
Now, a lot of times pitchers can do that to a guy that's an aggressive hitter, and as soon as they see that speed up of the motion, they just can't help themselves but chase after. It's a good job by Canseco laying off.
The ball hit hard right at Grieve. Makes the catch. So 3 balls hit well that inning. Meanwhile, come up empty after 2.5. Tampa Bay by 1.
Time right now to check out our upcoming schedule, brought to you by Pepsid AC. close it out here, this series in Tampa Bay tomorrow on Fox Sports Net at 12:15. Then we move on to Detroit. Day off, and then Tuesdays, 7:05 start, Fox Sports Net. Wednesday, Fox Sports Net, same thing. And Thursday on WCIU, and that being a 6 o'clock start Central Time.
Greg Vaughn will lead off the Tampa Bay third. He has an RBI double. Takes a curveball strike. Cleveland now hitting in the top of the fifth, still leading Seattle 1-0. Oakland leading the Tigers 2-1. That's in the bottom of the fifth. There's another high pop-up. Real high. Josh is there. He picked it up. Good job.
Yeah, good job, Josh, staying with it in this tough ceiling, but boy, he got rid of his mask and helmet fell off. He almost backed up right on top of his helmet, just a step away from him as it comes off there and follows him as he kicks it. And he gets to the screen and starts backing up. It was just underneath him there.
Ben Grieve, he drew a walk his first trip. See the way that helmet came off his head and hit him in the back of the foot. We had an outfielder at Kansas City one year going down the first baseline. Hat came off, hit him in the foot, and cut his Achilles. You don't think that's bad luck? Frank Cipriani was his name.
I said, what are the odds of that?
Watch it how it's come off now. Kicks it right back up.
I mean, the odds of that are virtually impossible.
Good pitch right there by Danny in on the fist.
That's probably the only time that's ever happened in baseball.
The only time I've ever heard. That's really bad luck. Two and two.
You don't want to. That's like one of those things you definitely don't want to mess with as if you're an athlete, as your Achilles tendon. Man, it's a tough one to battle back from.
Got him on the outside corner. He's gone. Good fastball. Danny throwing a little better the last two innings.
You notice he's reaching out a little better with his arm motion. Maybe that little 24-minute and 17-second delay got him a little tightened up, but he's loosened it back up. That last pitch right here, we'll see. Josh Paul sets up away, receives it. Good movement. Was catching the front edge of the plate.
Center fielder Randy Wynn struck out on a curveball. Takes the ball. And we got some email, Feisty.
All right, let me hear some.
I love you, man. Well, hello. And yawning, patting his self. 2-0. This one from Mike Bernard from Lisle, Illinois, says, Hawk and DJ, what do you see as the Sox most pressing need next season, and how would you address it? Also, a lot of needs? No, not really, Mike Bernard. I think we talked about it yesterday. I think Mother Nature is the biggest thing we need as he changes up on him. Good motion right there by Danny, and the count 1-2. If this club just gets healthy, that's the big thing. They just get healthy. This is a fine ball club. Ooh, they had 1-2. Now it's 2-2. This is a fine ball club with everybody in reasonably good health. Take him right here, Danny. There's a chopper, and it's foul.
Wow, not by much, boy. That ball almost landed right on the line, far past third base, which would indicate more than likely it had to have gone over that bag. So we might have caught us a break. Let's check out a replay right here. Look how close that lands, almost catches the line, and that is Boy, more than likely that went over that base, but there's no foul pole or fair pole right there for that umpire to make 100% judgment on it.
So once again, the 2-2 delivery. Change up, no. Walks him upstairs. That one at 96.
The first baseman, number 28.
So the fourth walk issued by Danny Wright. And here comes Steve Cox. He walked with the bases loaded in the first inning. And here's another email. This from Juan Alba from Hammond, Indiana. Says the other day I was watching Randy Johnson strike out the side with 9 straight pitches. One of the commentators said he didn't even waste one. Why would a pitcher want to throw a ball purposely? Got in. And we'll get back to that. So Wynn is picked off. And we'll go to the fourth, trailing by 1. Quick move to first by Danny Wright. Watch this.
Yeah, he caught Wynn leaning just enough where he can get him on the way back.
Herbert Perry will lead it off. Herbert a strikeout victim. 2-2-0 for Tampa Bay. 1-1-0 for the Sox. Count evens at 1. Getting back to that email from Juan Alba from Hammond. Why would a pitcher want to throw a ball purposely? Well, sometimes that's a rock in a hard place, one, with certain managers. You get certain managers who will say, get right after them. And you get other managers, if a pitcher gives up an 0-2 base hit, they get very upset with it. But the purpose is trying to get the hitter to chase a bad pitch. But I think, guys, they just overdo it.
I was watching the Little League World Series the other day where a team from Japan would do a pitch out when they had 2 strikes. And the catcher would set up in the middle of the opposite batting box to make sure that that pitcher did not throw one even close to being hit 0-2. And that's what happens a lot of times here in the big leagues. You'll see pitchers get 0-2 on a hitter and throw a pitch so bad there's no chance that a hitter would ever chase it. But that's the way some teams want it.
Tries to backdoor him right there. Full count. I know most of the good pitchers I've seen throughout my career as a player and a broadcaster. As there's ball 4. They'll just come right at you. First of all, 0-2, you're in a defensive state of mind. You're in a defensive posture.
Unless you're facing a big home run hitter and he's 0-2, who's just not going to really change his swing much. You got most hitters are up there 0-2 and they're just standing there feeling, waiting to just try and put the bat on the ball. So you usually have an advantage of going at him real hard rather than soft. Unless you do the soft well out of the zone, somebody that's got a bad eye.
Here's Aaron. Aaron grounded to Jared Sandberg in the first inning. Big Hack cues it back. Then I got an email back at the hotel this morning talking about what we were discussing in managers yesterday, Feisty, about how a lot of managers will look at what a guy can do and base it on that, and then other managers will look at what a guy can't do and then don't ask him to do it. And there's a huge difference in that. This guy Bill from Chicago sent it down. Fakes the bunt, takes a strike. And the reason being, Bill, is the fact that a lot of times it's easy to see what a guy can do, and it's a longer process to see what a guy can't do. And by that I'm talking about in certain situations. And when you're trying to put matchups together out there on that field, sometimes you ask a guy to do something which he can't do, and he won't do it. Pressure or whatever gets to him. But as I said, that is a longer process, and it takes more time to find out what a guy can't do than what he can. 1-2 the count to Aaron. There's some guys, you know, DJ, you could, you know, if you're going to pinch hit them and you got a man on third and less than 2 out, as he gets him upstairs. Third strikeout for Kennedy, 1 down, and here comes Royce Clayton. But there's some guys that just can't knock in a man from third with less than 2 out.
Well, in a situation like that, you're right. A manager's not going to ask a guy that's not successful in those types of things to even go up there and get it done. Unless he looks on that bench and his choices are limited, he's going to try and send somebody up there that has a better chance, because he does know a guy's limitations.
Royce hit a bullet his first time up, and Jared Sandberg made a very fine play on it. And it's like pitchers. Some guys, you can't ask them to go into that setup role. They just spit it out. Other guys, they can do it. And it seems like over the years that it's becoming so specialized that it's almost like a mental block to a lot of players, especially pitchers. Stay fair. Stay fair. It will, thank you very much, but over the fence on 1 bounce, it'll be a ground rule double. Nice piece of hitting right there by Royce Clayton.
That's just a second hit for the Sox in this ball game. A lot of base runners, as there's 5 base on balls. Now you see Royce gets a pitch, slices it right inside out on it down that line. He gets a advantage of watching it all the way down there to see if it was going to stay fair or not. But D-Rays catch a break as that bounces up into the seats and saves a run.
So let's see what Jerry Manuel wants to do here. Josh Paul struck out his first at bat. Takes ball 1.
A good example right now. Josh up there hasn't had a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position, but he's only hitting 120. So you got a guy that, yeah, you got options that you might want to do something else rather than to let him swing the bat.
Now he's a pretty good bunter. Fouls that one back. 1-1 to count.
Well, it's kind of appropriate that this is where it comes a time where a manager's got to know his player and what he's capable of doing. Josh pretty capable of putting the ball on the ground up the middle. But in a game like this, you don't know how it's going to turn out. Every run counts.
I guess, especially when you're 7.5 back. Curveball.
Well, that answers that question. Josh just trying to get it done on his own. Hit the ball. He's got to hit the ball back towards the big part of the field. The infield is back.
Shorter, quicker swing right there by Josh. On a pretty good pitch to hit.
Kennedy, he's got that fastball working pretty good today. Since he settled down a bit in that first inning. Good movement to it. Seen him pop it up there at 93.
And the 1-2.
Second baseman, number 5, Ray German.
Pull a string on him. Good changeup down and away. Josh really chasing a pitch that was well off the outside corner and down. Tough pitch to get a job done with.
So here's Ray. Ray is lined hard to center, and he is flied to left. Takes that pitch nicely. Ray had a good trip in Kansas City. 6 for 14, a couple of homers, 3 doubles, knocked in 4, 1 for 4 yesterday. It looks like he is seeing the ball much better.
Yeah, especially right here from the right side where he had himself a 2-home-run ball game in Kansas City. Both of them from the right side. That ball game he had 3 hits, one with a double.
Trying to inside out that one. Well, the count 2-1.
Well,
So,
that, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's a very ambiguous statement, seeing the ball better. We always see the ball, but it's just how well you see it.
Sometimes you just see little flashes of it, not the whole ball itself.
And I've always judged hitters on how long they saw the ball. I was basically a 55-foot hitter my whole career because I stood close to the plate and bailed. Left shoulder came out. So you're going to lose the ball out there. And it's a lot harder to hit if that guy was throwing from 55 feet than he is from 60. And your good hitters, the hitting coach for Tampa Bay, Wade Boggs, he was primarily a 59, 60-foot hitter. Your good hitters see it longer. Pops him up right side, so Kennedy is going to get out of it. Van Grieve is there, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Sox have now stranded 6, and after 3.5 they trail it 2-1. We're on the short end of that 2-1 score. It'll be Cox, Sandberg, and Gomez here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Cox was at the plate when Danny Wright picked off Randy Wynn. Cox, that bases loaded walk in the first, picked up his 34th RBI. Takes ball 1. Cleveland hitting in the top of the 6th, now leading Seattle 2-0. Change up strike. Oakland leading Detroit 3-1. That's in the bottom of the 6th at the Coliseum. Yankees leading Anaheim 4-1, top of the 5th at Edison Field. Arizona defeated Philadelphia 4-3 at Veterans Stadium. And the Cubs beat the Cardinals 6-4 at Wrigley. Pop up left side. Perry.
And here's a reminder, this Friday the White Sox face the Indians at 7:05. All fans will enjoy post-game fireworks presented by Ticketmasters. For tickets, call 312-8311 Sox.
So here's Jared Sandberg. Struck out on a curveball his first trip. That was a big strikeout for Danny. Bases were loaded, 1 down. Takes the strike.
Danny definitely a lot more freer with his arm, like something loosened up in there for him, and he can reach out and let it go now. Either that or Nardi Contreras, when he got in there, said, "This is what you're doing. Go out there and knock it off." Something got him to change it, that's for sure.
Well, he hit 96 last inning. First time he's done that in the last 3 outings. Breaking ball, chopper 2, Hopper, Royce. 2 down. And as Chris Gomez makes his way to the plate, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN Superstation.
Along with a feisty one, DJ. Aaron Jackson, Ken Harrelson from Tropicana Field, second of this 3-game set. Sox on this 11-day, 10-game road trip. Took 3 out of 4 in Kansas City and took the opener here last evening. Good pitch. Good movement. Gomez grounded out to Ray Durham to end the first inning.
Well, one thing about Danny Wright is if he is reaching back and throwing the ball away, we saw him do when he first got called to the big leagues. Well, then hitters are going to have a whole different read on him all of a sudden.
Hard to center that 94, 95, 96 mile an hour moving fastball.
Well, yeah, and he's just so much freer, gets so much more velocity on that fastball, let alone obviously he's got better control. And it's good to see it because this pitcher that we're watching right now is not the same guy we've seen the last few outings.
One of the things that's a little unusual that'll tell you how much his fastball moves and what kind of stuff he has. Danny has now worked 32 innings, 32 and a third. He's given up 24 walks and he's only thrown 2 home runs. Yes, he's gone. 1, 2, 3 inning for Danny. That's his 4th strikeout, and we're into the 5th, trailing by 1. Well, since the first inning, Danny Wright has been doing some chunking. Gave up a leadoff infield single to Tyner. Then the third place hitter, Greg Vaughn, got him for a double. He's walked some guys, but he has not given up a hit since that time, as Carlos Lee will start things off here in the top of the 5th. Backdoors him with a curveball. Carlos has walked, scored, and hammered a line drive hard into center field. Checks it up, 1-1.
Well, both pitchers that got off to bad starts are settling under themselves now and throwing the ball the way everybody really expects them to. Aside from the wildness, nobody expects that or wants that, but they're definitely now featuring their good velocity and their off-speed stuff to help them out.
There's 2 good arms out there. And the count 3-1 to El Caballo.
And before, Joe Kennedy's already set a new high in base on balls.
That ball hit hard right at the Greave. Carlos has just smacked it hard. Last 2 at bats coming up empty.
The right fielder,
and here's a reminder: the White Sox face the Indians on Saturday, September 1st. The first 20,000 fans will receive White Sox dugout towels from Gatorade. For tickets, call 312-831-1-SOX.
Here's Maggs. He's 1 for 2. Checks it up. Maggs had his 11-game hitting streak snapped last evening. Pretty good fastball. Outfield straight up and spread out. Good short rip right there by Maglio.
You see Maglio still letting that ball get real deep. About a 59-foot hitter, as Hawk would like to put it. He's trying to drive it out of here to the right side.
He got him upstairs. He just blew him away up there.
Yeah. Kennedy put a little extra on it, and he can see that Maglio's trying to shoot the ball to right field. So what's he do? Puts just a couple of inches more on it and gets it right by him. Up.
Here's Pauly. Been to the plate twice. He has walked twice. Takes a strike on the corner. Yeah, guys who try to work the ball to the opposite field. Mag's case being a right-handed hitter, trying to hit it to right. That ball hit hard in the left. Tyner got a good jump, can't get it. Short hops the wall. Paulie on his way to second, and here's the throw, safe. Oh, Paulie picks up his 32nd two-double, two-bagger.
Designated hitter, number 31.
Paul Konerko's been hitting the ball hard this whole trip. He continues. He's got a couple of base on balls today, and now just lights this pitch up. I don't know what Tyner's trying to do there. There's nobody on base. Looks like he's trying to deke somebody, but nobody to really fool, as Konerko just going to get there.
So here's Canseco. Walk with the bases loaded. Then in the third inning, hit a bullet right to Ben Grieve and right. The closer you are to that plate, and Canseco is right on top of it. The closer you are to that plate, he's moved off a little bit for this left-hander because of that moving fastball he's got, and a pretty good breaking ball down and in. Here's a curveball strike. But the closer you are, the less distance you're going to see the ball. When you're off the plate, you're trying to hit it the opposite way, you will see the ball longer. That's why at young ages, dads and coaches try to get their youngsters to hit the ball up back through the middle and to the opposite field so they can see it longer. Same thing holds true at the big league level. That ball hit deep. That's off the top of the fence. Here comes Konerko. On the long single by Canseco, he scores, and this game is tied at 2.
That ball had a whole bunch of top spin on it and came down and caught the top of the fence, but Jose Canseco, he felt he got it. He wasn't running very hard out of the batter's box. He's going to light it up, get in on him a little bit, but he's so strong, he muscles it, top spins it. He's still standing there for a second, and by the time he got to moving, not much of a chance to get into second base, as it would have been difficult in the first place.
Oh, you're right. That Herbert fouls it away. That's what you call a humpback line drive right there.
Yeah, that ball was up, and then it just top hand on it, straight down, catching the top of the fence. It was not anything with any backspin. I don't know if Jose, even if he was digging hard after that big follow through, could have made it into second, but wasn't much of an effort there either.
So Jose has driven in both Sox runs. Good curveball right there, and the count quickly 0-2 to Herbert.
A nice little 2-out rally working right here. Kennedy's throwing the ball well, gives up the double and the single.
Had a nice 2-out rally yesterday. 2 out, nobody on, third inning. Durham single. Valentin single. Mags walked, and then Konerko unloaded him with that double. High off the fence in deep left center. I love 2-out rallies.
It's a lot of fun, especially the team that's on defense really takes the wind out of their sails. They think they're about to run off the field.
As he got him with a hook. Sox tie it up. Double by Konerko, single by Canseco. Halfway home, tied at 2. Two tie here in the bottom of the 5th inning as curveball strike to catcher John Flaherty. He's 0 for 1, fly to Aaron Rowan in center. Plays off that one. Bottom of the 6th in Seattle, 2-0 Cleveland. 2-1.
Well, this game, minus that delay, has kind of moved pretty slow in this nice Saturday. Even without that delay, not a lot of action other than all the free passes being issued here in this game.
Nice Saturday.
In here, it's nice.
Yeah, it is.
We don't know any different. I can't see out any windows.
No, we do know a little different because we had a 24-minute power outage because of that vicious storm. And there's a line shot in the hole.
All we can go by is what we heard on the outside. We couldn't see it. And here, climate is nice.
First hit given up since the first inning by Danny. And here comes the leadoff hitter, Jason Tyner. Tyner has an infield single, a run scored, go along with a stolen base. In the second at bat, he hit a bullet. The Durham went way up to make a fine timing catch on it. Perry coming in on the grass. Tyner bunts it. They still got to hurry. They don't get him.
Paul Konerko immediately turned around and asked the umpire something. I don't know if he was saying that Paulie came off the base, which it didn't look like. Let's see. Paulie's on the bag. No, he's just saying it. He beat it.
That's a close play.
Yeah, well, we mentioned if Tyner can get a bunt down no matter what, it's going to be tough to get him. Evident right there.
So the corners come in close. Here's Brent Abernathy. He has walked, scored, and popped up to third. But they got a shot at third, and they get him. Not a good bunt by Abernathy. And Danny Wright taking some time.
Yeah. He did the big spinning, looking, reaching, and throwing over to third base routine, but that's all right. He still got him. Just not the easy way. Surprisingly, it looked like he was set up to just go the other direction and flip it, but he got himself in a good, strong throwing position by turning back. Well, a good thing there was a slower runner and Flaherty running to third base.
Well, here's Greg Vaughn. RBI double in the first. Then he fouled out to Josh Paul in the third. Checks it up, did not go.
Well, either way, good job. Communication. Josh Paul yelling to Danny Wright and letting him know to go ahead and make that play into third base.
Two and 0 the count.
Greg Vaughn, 50 home runs, career high. 2 years ago, 99, he hit 45. Last year off year at 28.
That's a bullet. Oh man, Herbert had no chance on that one. Absolutely no. Here's a throw to second. And Ray asking Jeff Nelson what went wrong. Meanwhile, 3-2 Tampa Bay.
Good job. Carlos Lee busted his butt to get over there and does a great job of feeding Ray into second base. This here is just a bullet that Herbert is going to go down, try and get there, and look at it hop up. Boy, a sigh of relief that didn't catch him in the face. Carlos busts over and gets rid of it to second base, makes a nice throw. Ray's going to get it, put the tag down. They're going to say that his foot's on the base when he gets to him, as very, very close. Looked like Greg Vaughn just did get it on the bag.
So here's the right fielder, the cleanup hitter, Ben Grieve. Takes that pitch off the plate, ball one.
Well, we talked about Greg Vaughn not having the big offensive year that people are used to, but he has made it count again today, as he did yesterday. Had a hit and drove in a run. Today, 2 hits and driven in 2.
2-0. Randy went on deck. Well, there's nothing wrong with hitting 230 if you're going to have 24 homers, 81 RBIs, 68 runs scored.
I told you before, I played with Joe Carter in '90. He had about 224 that year, had only around 24 home runs on the season, but drove in about 113.
Two and one, the count to Grieve.
So a lot of times, got nothing to do with anything. If you're an RBI guy supposed to drive in runs and you're doing it, there'll be a lot of people tell you they don't really care what you hit for average. As you see Sean Lowe back up, as he was earlier in the game. The first inning he had to get up.
Ground ball. Clayton. Over to Konerko. Abernathy scores, and it's a 4-2 Tampa Bay lead.
Center fielder number 2, Randy
Abernathy scores on the job by Grieve, going back up the middle. Just trying to pick up the run, and he does his job.
Here's Randy Winnie. He struck out. He has walked. And then he was picked off. Herbert. And close at third as first pitch strike.
Hitters do that in their situational hitting and batting practice. They'll have runner on third, 1 out, no outs, infield back, and they'll try and hit the ball on the ground back up the middle as Grieve just did, or try and drive it to the outfield, but they're just trying to hit it hard to the big part of the field.
Curveball downstairs, 2-0. Steve Cox on deck. Flips that one into left field. Carlos can't get there. It's a fair ball. So Vaughn scores, and it's 5-2.
Nothing anybody can do about that. It's not as if Danny Wright made a bad pitch there. That is just throwing one out there right inside the line. It's going to happen to you. This happened at a bad time to Danny Wright there.
Bernardi out. So while we have a moment, let's check out what's coming your way right here over WGN.
Matthew Broderick and screen legend Marlon Brando in the comedy You Can't Refuse. The Freshman, tonight at 8 Eastern on WGN Superstation.
So here's Cox. He walked with the bases loaded in the first. He popped up in the fourth to third base. Checks it up and takes down low. 5-6-0 for the Devil Rays. 2-4-0 for the Sox. That's foul. Rope hook. Aaron Ezel will make that play.
Danny Wright figuring he got him once. Why not try a couple more times? First time caught him leaning a bit. I think he's not going to be as careless this time at first base and win.
He's 9 for 15 in stolen bases. Two balls and a strike. Cox with 7 homers, 34 RBIs, and he has yet to commit an error this season at first base.
Wynn not really very successful at any level in the minor leagues in stolen bases. One year had 35, but caught stealing 20 times.
There he goes. The ball hit hard back through the middle. So Aaron will get it back in. 2 out, runners at the corners. And here comes Jerry Manuel.
You saw Wynn was off to the races. He is very fast. Just must have problems with his jumps when he gets caught. But the shot back up the middle by Cox, his first hit of the day. A knock big Danny Wright off the hill.
So Danny Wright will depart. Sean Lowe comes on, and we'll be back.
Your attention, please. Coming in pitch for Chicago, number 50, Brother.
Danny Wright had a tough first inning and settled down, didn't give up any more hits until this one. He's given up 5 here in the bottom of the 5th to go along with 3 runs, so he gives way to Sean Lowe.
Sean, he's been in 32 ball games, 6-4, the 3.84 ERA. 103 hits given up in 100 innings, 10 long balls, 26 walks, along with 56 strikeouts. He needs to step it up right here, get this quick 1 out.
So here's Sandberg. He has struck out and grounded to short. Takes a curveball strike. Aaron Rowan short out there in center. A couple of steps over towards Carlos Lee and left.
Yep, Aaron very shallow. Might not know the power of Sandberg. He does have some good power. I mentioned he had 22 home runs in the minor leagues one year, along with 17 another.
One and one accounts. He checks down with Terry Collins. I like the way he carries himself at the plate. Win at third, Cox at first. There he goes. So the delayed gets the job done for Cox. Picks up his first stolen base of the season.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying the old delayed double steal there as Wynn down at third base creeped down the line. If Josh Paul would have come up hurling it to second base, as nobody was covering anyway.
The 1-2. He's gone on the hook. Well, Sean comes in and gets his job done, but they do some damage with that crooked number. We'll go to the 6th, trailing by 3.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago White Sox and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago White Sox.
Lower third of the Sox order here in the top of the 6th inning. 5-2 Tampa Bay. It'll be Aaron Rowan, Royce Clayton, and Josh Paul. Takes that fastball. 1-0 the count.
Well, need base runners. They got to get back to some small ball.
Count evens at 1.
Right here, Aaron, a guy that can handle the bat well, runs well, get a bunt down, get things started.
Curveball low.
Even though Kennedy has issued the career high 5 free passes today, either way, they get some guys on rather than just swinging for those fences.
Jammed him right there. Flipper into left center field. Randy Wynn. Aaron now 0 for 3.
Pretty tough area out there to land a ball between Tyner and Wynn. Both of them can flat fly. Not going to find a lot of greenage out there. Got a reminder here. Sox Fest 2002 will take place February 1st through the 3rd at the Hyatt Regency, Chicago downtown. Meet current players and White Sox stars of the past, collect autographs, and shop for unique baseball memorabilia.
Royce taking all the way. Strike 1. Royce was robbed of a hit on a beautiful play by Sandberg at third. That was in the 2nd inning. Then in the 4th, hit a ground rule double. One hop over the fence in the right field corner.
Well, Joe Kennedy, aside from the free passes, has really settled down. He's pitching in good, mixing it up, popping that fastball up on the hitters now. I'd say he's turned out to be effectively wild today. We saw earlier when Danny Wright first got called up, he walked 7, and you talk about effectively wild. He gave up 1 run that day, even though he walked 7.
Yeah, none of those guys crossed home plate. Well, again, with all the walks that he has issued in conjunction with innings pitched, to only throw 2 home runs will tell you something about the stuff and the movement he has. That curveball high. You got that good movement, that hard movement like he does. Tough to center it. And we got some Sox fans here. Talking DJ just returned from the 5-day cruise this morning. Thought we'd stop in to see our White Sox win. We'll see you back at Comiskey Park for the next homestand. That's from Art and Maureen Barrett from 34th and Low in lovely downtown Bridgeport. They're swinging that bat.
Catcher, number 27.
Royce had gotten off to that hot streak and cooled off a bit, but he centered the ball pretty well today as they hit the double down the right field line. Hit the ball hard to third. And now this shot into right.
So Wallace Johnson going through his sequence of signs. We could hear that whistle all the way up here. Josh is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Look at the pick by Abernathy. Oh, there, they have made some terrific picks. That ball was scalded. Meanwhile, rack them up. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 5-2 Tampa Bay. The marina area here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Pull back to the big pier they have out there. Good restaurant. As we get set to go to the bottom of the 6th inning, Sean Lowe in relief of Danny Wright. He will face Chris Gomez, John Flaherty, and Jason Tyner. Indians sitting in the top of the 7th, leading Seattle 2-1. First pitch, fastball, strike. Chris Gomez has grounded to second and struck out. Count evens at 1.
Well, Sean had a tough outing, and his last time out got put back in that bullpen to reestablish again that he's throwing the ball well, and a good outing for him today. Who knows how long he'll have to stick in that bullpen, but he needs to right himself because he hasn't been a little bit off, not as sharp.
All balls down to making pitches. Off the end of the bat, base hit.
And also, He's had that happen to him a bit. Some softballs have been hit for knocks.
The catcher, number 6.
So here's the catcher, John Flaherty. He's 1 for 2. Live to center and singled.
Sean started that first game of this road trip. 7 innings. Gave up 10 runs. Not all of them earned, of course. But he did give up 13 hits that day. So good for him to get back on track in this game right here today.
Well, Sean's used to this situation. It's happened to him since he's been here. Pitch out, nothing on.
Well, Joe Nosek trying to get these signs from third base coach Terry Collins, and he's pitched out a couple times today, hasn't got it.
Goodbye. And it's foul. Now Terry Collins looking in at Hal McRae. Goes through the sequence. Jesus Colome, hard throwing right-hander.
But you're right. Sean Lowe's been in this position. He's had to prove himself time and time again since he's been with the Sox. Been pretty reliable. He's had his rough times and also been so locked in that guys didn't have a chance, especially earlier in the year when he got in that rotation.
There's a bunt that'll get the job done. Sean flips over to Durham, so the sacrifice 1-4.
The left fielder, number 14, Jason.
There's nothing wrong with having to prove yourself.
Not at all. Sean's used to it. I mean, it gets old. It does. Every player's going to get a little tired of having to constantly do it. When you see maybe other guys, you know, struggle and they don't have to, you know, be bounced around so much. You just have to be that one guy. You know, it's going to happen to somebody that has to constantly prove himself, and Sean's the one guy that's got to keep doing it. If that's going to be the way it is, he'll stay motivated.
Here's Jason Tyner. He's 2 for 3. Stolen base, and he scored a pair. This guy's just worn us out. Big hack and a hook. 1-1.
Now, Tyner coming into this game was hitting .400 against the Sox this year. And .400 against the Sox in his career.
Drops that hook over. Now, he's a little bit more than a slap hitter. Primarily a slap hitter, but he can still hit some hard line drives.
Yeah, that's talking about that earlier. How get those corners up, but he can hit it hard enough. Not just slap it past you. He can get you up there and definitely hit it right past you with something on it. He got a little hitting off the front foot style, slapping at it, but he squares it up.
Sean tries to backdoor him, and a count evens at 2. Yankees leading the Angels 7-2, top of the 7th at Edison Field. 5-1 Oakland over the Tigers. That's in the bottom of the 8th at the Coliseum. Seattle now hitting in the bottom of the 7th, still trailing Cleveland 2-1. Later on, Toronto at Baltimore, Kansas City hosting Minnesota, and Boston taking on the Rangers down in Texas. It's off to the end of the bat.
Tyner mentioned how well he hits against the Sox, and he's a pretty good leadoff guy with all the speed that he has. A couple of things that he still has to work out, though. because he doesn't draw very many walks, and his on-base percentage is down. Though coming into this game only at .317 is his on-base percentage, along with 11 walks, and that coming with over 275 at bats.
Pretty good job right there just to fight that pitch off.
And you know, it's funny, a lot of teams try to get guys like Tyner. They say you got to walk more. It's not like a guy can just walk up there and go, oh, okay. It's not that simple. You know, an organization can say we want you to walk more, and he can try to see a few more pitches, but a lot of hitters, their style is their style. They can't stand up there and take pitches just because somebody tells them to. Next thing you know, they can't hit it all.
Gets him right there on a curveball. Now you know yourself, DJ. This game is a beautiful game, but it is so unorthodox in so many ways. You got so many contrarians in the game of baseball. You know, somebody will come in there and be an aggressive young hitter. They call him up to the big leagues, and as you mentioned, the first thing after they watch him play a couple of games, hey, you got to start walking more. Well, he hit his way to the big leagues.
Well, check the stats. See if the guy walked in the minor leagues. If that was something he didn't do down there, it's probably not something he can do at the big league level. Probably do it even less up here. It's tough to tell a guy he needs to walk more. I mean, that's just either you're a guy that has an outstanding eye and draws walks, or you're not.
Here's Abernathy. Off the end of the bat, Ray is right there, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across. We'll go to the 7th. We got some problems. That's the story here in the top of the 7th. Right now, let's check out our forward snapshot, focusing on the 22-year-old southpaw Joe Kennedy. There he gets Josh Paul. Gets him upstairs. And gets him upstairs. Kennedy got some good stuff. He has got a good arm. Got a chance to be an outstanding pitcher. And here comes a guy younger than the 22-year-old Kennedy.
Yeah.
Jesus Colome.
Yeah, the 21-year-old Colome. And look at his numbers. 316. 18 games. Opponents only hitting .214 against him on the season. You'll see why in a minute with that good arm that he has. Got a few strikeouts. And he's pitched 25 innings. He has 19 strikeouts. One thing he'll do is just some free passes, as he's given up 17 of those in just those 25 innings.
6'2", 170 pounds, out of what is probably the greatest little baseball city in the world, San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic. It's just amazing how they keep putting players in the big leagues. There you see Bill Pulsifer, just acquired the other day from Boston on waivers. It'll be the top of the order for the Sox. Durham, Lee, and Ordonez. Sandberg in on the turf at third. Outfield slightly to the left. That fastball at 95 taken high off the plate, and the count 2-0.
That's a smooth delivery. 95 just was like he's slinging it up there Satchel Paige style. Loose arm, just winging it.
Little Satch. There's a strike. Satchel Paige used to warm up with a chewing gum wrapper. His home plate.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he'll say he had a little can cut open to throw it into. Is that strike two right in the outside corner of the Ray? So he had a little tin can cut open on each end and throw it through it.
A little teacup.
Yeah.
Come on, Ray, start us off right here. Pops him up. Tyner's got a long way to go, but he's there. So here comes Carlos. Carlos has walked and scored. He has lined hard to center, and he has lined hard to right. Yeah, Colomé has a beautiful release, like Joe Namath used to have with a football. Quick release, a beautiful release. '97.
I tell you, they got a pretty decent bullpen when it comes to striking out hitters. Do the Devil Rays. Ran as a team. They came into this game today with 810 strikeouts compared to the Sox 716.
Another 97-mile-an-hour fastball, foul back, and the count 0-2.
It's not just that fastball that he's featuring to Carlos. It's the angle that he's bringing it up there at him, kind of slinging it 3/4. That'll get that, sometimes that shoulder a hard time to stay in there.
And that ball slammed into center field. Well, Carlos, hang with him.
Yeah, right there, Colomé kind of left that one out over the plate for Carlos to get to, and up. Carlos did look like he was pulling that front shoulder a little bit, but right there for him.
Mag singled in the first, went out to Grieve and right in the third, struck out in the fifth. Not hit hard, but look at the play by Gomez. Guns up, guns, not in time. Beautiful try right there by Chris Gomez.
Yep, Gomez to his right, fully extended, and it took a bad hop on him, but it's too deep in the hole, too far out there to get the speedy Maglio. Maglio saw him field that ball and turned on the afterburner, saying, no chance, you're not getting me.
So here's a good confrontation right here. You got a terrific fastball hitter against a young man who's bringing it up there at 96, 97. So we'll see what he starts him off with. 5-2 Devil Rays. One and 0. And 97 on the board for that one, but I don't think so.
No.
Just turn that one over. Get it out there low and away. Some of these guns, it's amazing. Some of these guns register a bigger speed down low than they do up high. And that's just not the way it is in baseball. 2-0. Guys throw harder upstairs than they do down.
No. Right here, Paulie's got himself a count. And he likes the fastball. Even from hard throwers like Colomé.
No, you just can't throw hard enough for Paulie. Checks it up. 3-0.
He does a good job also laying off of those good hard fastballs out of the zone. So it tells you he's not cheating so much that he can't hold up. A lot of hitters, they get ahead 2-0 on a guy that throws this hard. They cheat so much. Doesn't matter where it is. They'll check their swing and get it called on them.
Pours that one right there at 96. So it wasn't a get me over. Same thing as a 2-0. It's 3-1. Joe Johnson. And that's ball 4. So that'll bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Jose Canseco.
And Colomé issues some free passes. That's the 18th base on ball he's given up. And this is 26th inning of work. That's a bunch.
Jose has had a good afternoon. A walk with the bases loaded in the first. He lined hard to Grieve in the third. Then he had a bullet off the top of the fence in left field for an RBI single. So he's driven in both Sox runs. Taking all the way, and Colomé grabs the strike.
A little different story right here with Jose and slinging Colomé. Jose's got that powerful hard swing, but sometimes it gets a little big. Needs to be very short and quick to catch this fastball.
And on a hard thrower like Colomé, he'll cheat a little more than Konerko.
Yeah, a little harder for him to lay off the tough pitches.
And the count 0-2.
That's a hang with him. And Colomé throws you a 90-mile-an-hour slider.
Come on, Hose. Two on, two out, 1-2 the count, 5-2 Devil Rays. Here in the top of the seventh. Ball hit hard back through the middle into center field. Here comes Maggs. Paulie will pull up at second. And it's a 5-3 ball game.
Nice job with a shorter, quicker swing right there from Jose and not trying to do too much. We've seen him do that a lot since he's joined the White Sox. Not try to get too greedy in certain situations. And right there you can tell he is not trying to be greedy at all. No stride basically. So he shortened everything up and just tried to drive in the run. So that's a great approach and a good job by Jose to help the team out right there and at least pick up the one.
Chicago, batting for Perry, number 39.
Jeff Leefer has come out to hit for Herbert. Herbert was 0 for 2 this afternoon with a base on balls. There you see 31-year-old left-hander Doug Creek.
And there you see Hal McRae wasting no time, as Jeff Leeper has had a lot of trouble against left-handers on the year.
I don't think Lee's going to see Creek here.
Well, right here, McRae, he's going out there having a conversation. And it appears he'd be stalling for time as he does go to Creek.
So breaking the action is Jesus Colomé will depart. Doug Creek comes on, and we'll be back.
So Doug Creek, southpaw, comes on and knocks Jeff Leefer out of there as Tony Graffinino is going to come on to hit for Leefer. You see Creek's numbers. He got a lot of strikeouts, 56 in 54 innings. Also 37 base on balls. That's a whole bunch. So you got to be very patient. He's one of those guys that's effectively wild. You don't know what the heck you're going to get from Doug Creek. They can throw one right there to hit, or you can chase a bad pitch. So you can walk you or strike you out, flip a coin.
Or you could hit the outside edge or the outside and inside corner.
Well, the Sox are going to send up their top pinch hitter, and Tony Graffinino for reliever. Graffinino is 3 for 8 as a pinch hitter with a home run and 2 RBIs.
So 5-8-0 for Tampa Bay, 3-7-0 for the Sox with 2 down. Konerko at second. Canseco at first. First pitch, fastball, strike. Cleveland hitting in the top of the 8th, tied at 2 with the Mariners. Oakland has defeated Detroit 6-1 at the Coliseum. Count evens at 1. Creek, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, born in Winchester, Virginia, now resides here in St. Petersburg. And Tony's got to cinch it up and hunker down. 1-2 the count. Try to get him on that breaking ball down and in.
Yeah, he's got that very deceptive breaking ball they can feature in there. Get a lot of right-handed hitters to swing right over the top of it. Late breaking, goes straight down.
Tony chops it foul down past Wallace Johnson. Finale tomorrow afternoon. It'll be young John Garland on the bump for the Sox. His opponent will be right-handed Brian Ricard, and that game will be over Fox Sports Net. And it's off to Detroit. Off day on Monday. Then Tuesday, Rocky Biddle against Jose Lima. On Wednesday, Gary Glover against Mark Redmond. Both those games will be over Fox Sports Net. Then the finale of this road trip on Thursday, Mark Burley against Nate Cornejo. And that's how to play right side. That game will be over WCIU Channel 26.
Let's give that man a contract. That was beautiful.
Come on, Tony G. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch. It's full.
You can just tell how tough Creek is to hit against. He's just all over the place. He's got good velocity on everything. Man, you got to pretty much try and say to yourself, he's going to throw a strike here and be ready to go, and hope you can lay off of it if it's not right there where you're looking, because he is one of those effectively wild guys that can get you out of the zone a whole bunch of times if you're too aggressive.
Well, from what I've seen of him, one thing that can help you out a little bit is the fact that he's just hard. So you don't have to worry that much about the change. And that's ball 4. That will load him up. So after falling behind in the count, Tony G works the walk.
Center fielder, number 24, Aaron Rowan.
And that'll bring up Aaron Rowan. Victor Zambrano. Aaron 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's gone out to third, struck out, and gone out to center. And there's a base hit by Roy. Here comes Konerko. Here comes Canseco, the throw. And they get him. A beautiful throw by Jason Tyner. Nails Canseco at the plate. Sox pick up a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The 7th inning stretch, trailing by 1. Right now, let's check out our Miller Lite Major League scoreboard. Bottom of the 8th inning in Seattle, 2-2 tie. For Cleveland, 7-2. Yankees over the Angels, 6-1. A's defeated the Tigers. Later on, there's the rest of the American League schedule. Over in the National League, D-backs defeated the Phillies at Veterans Stadium 4-3. 6-4 Cubs over the Cardinals at Wrigley. LA takes on Atlanta and the rest of the National League schedule.
Here's his last play. Base hit by Aaron Rowan, and the throw from Tyner. You see it's up the line a little bit inside as Canseco thinks he can get to the bag before the tag. No, they got him. He's got to get down there. He's got to put some kind of slide on that plate and give himself a chance to get away from that tag. That's not good.
Oh, Paulie wanted him down as Greg Vaughn leads it off, takes outside. Vaughn 2 for 3, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. .580 for the D-Rays, 480 for the Sox.
Yeah, that's too bad right there. Tony Graffinino at third base. Good job by him drawing the walk. An outstanding job for Aaron to come through with a clutch 2-out hit. Should have had an opportunity to tie it up.
Two and two. And if he used a little fadeaway right there, I don't think Flaherty's going to get him.
No chance. The only reason he did get him because he came by standing up. The only chance he had was right there for Jose to come into the plate up. He could have given a little fadeaway. He could have come down almost straight in. His feet would have been on the base either way on home plate, as he was not standing right there.
Oh, the leadoff walk.
And here's a reminder. The Sox 2001 individual game tickets are on sale. Visit Comiskey Park ticket windows, Ticketmasters, Ticket Centers, WhiteSox.com, or call 312-831-1SOX.
Here's Ben Grieve.
Yep, missed opportunity right there, and they've been hard to come by. This is a tough ball game today where you can't let an opportunity of somebody picking up a hit let it pass, especially with 2 outs.
Grieve has walked, struck out, and grounded to short, knocking in a run. He now has 55 RBIs.
You know, we've seen a whole bunch of actually not real good base running by the Sox
throughout the course of the year. It's been bad.
And it's one of those things where, you know, you can get together as a coach, or you can bring him in, sit there and say, we got to do a better job, and you can make them put some situations in their heads, but they still got to execute, and we haven't seen the execution very consistent this year. A lot of mistakes have cost the team, pickoffs or caught stealing at an inappropriate time. You name it. Lots of bad things have happened on the base paths this year. Trying to take an extra base, the wrong situation, getting thrown out.
Doubled up when you couldn't get doubled up. 2-0.
It has definitely been a frustrating year. If you're the manager of the Chicago White Sox, at the big league level, you're supposed to minimize, you know, mental mistakes, and there have been a ton of mental mistakes this season.
Come on, Sean. 3-0 the count. And here comes Nardi. Going to have some activity now down in the Sox pen. While he's out there, Mariners did not score in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, you see Alan Embry is the man that's got to stirring down in that bullpen. Well, you're the pitching coach, you're the manager, you're the hitting coach, you name it. It has been a frustrating situation for all of them to try and come together and put a solid offense, defense, and pitching routine together. It's just been inconsistent.
There's strike one. Well, because of all the things that you have just mentioned, hopefully they'll learn from it. There goes Vaughn. Ground ball. Durham looks to second. So one out, and that'll bring up Randy Wynn. Wynn has struck out, walked, as an RBI single.
You know, it's funny you say hopefully this will be a learning experience, which is true. You can just hope that this year is one of those things that all the players individually can grow from. But at the same time, there's some guys out there on the field that have been there all year, that have been here for a while, and one of those situations where you'd think that towards the end of the year they might have eliminated some of those mistakes.
Big curveball. Where we really had tough times this year is winning close ball games. Now the curve, and the count 0-2. So Sean, well in command of the count.
Very frustrating if you're Jerry Manuel, because you try to be patient as a manager. Definitely try to be patient and not have things get to you. But how much patience do you show with a team that's got the ability?
So Vaughn goes into third on the wild pitch. Now the Sox have to bring the infield in. One and two the count to win. Outfield short, around to the left. Lays off that low curveball. Sean, take him out here. Full count. Steve Cox on deck. Throw him your best hook right here. He does hook him into left field. Carlos has to back up. Vaughn will tag. He will score. So the dreaded leadoff walk comes in, and it's a 6-4 Devil Ray lead.
The first baseman, number 28, Steve Hawks.
Cox's walk, popped to third, single, and he picked up his first stolen base of the season. That was a delayed steal back in the 5th inning.
Well, the Sox have put themselves in a position in this game to get back on top. Down 2 now as they scored 2 themselves in the top inning of the 7th. And you go right back out and give that 1 up. I mentioned that the bullpen for the Devil Rays is not bad. They've got some guys that can strike you out.
Curveball misses in the count, 3-1.
And the Devil Rays have had the best ERA in the Eastern Division since the break.
There's a base hit. So here comes Jared Sandberg. He's 0 for 3 this afternoon.
Jared Sandberg.
Outfield playing him straight up and spread out. He was the first hitter that Sean faced when he came in the ball game. Struck him out on a good curveball as he takes strike 1.
Well, the Sox won over the 500 mark just for the 4th time this season. Making it tough on themselves to get to 2 over the 500 mark here today. They're working at it, staying within reach at least.
That curveball, Paulie knocks it down. Has plenty of time to control, and that'll retire the side. But the leadoff walk comes around to score. We'll go to the 8th, trailing 6-4.
It's time right now to have a look at our Toyota game summary as the Sox trail by 2, 6-4. Danny Wright went 4 2/3, gave up 7 hits, 5 runs. Canseco, he's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Make it with 3 RBIs. Greg Vaughn, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs. Joe Kennedy went 6 innings. Also had 6 strikeouts.
Victor Zambrano comes on in relief of Doug Creek. First pitch, strike to Royce Clayton. Royce has hit the ball hard all 3 times. He has a single, a double. And very quickly the count 0-2.
Well, Zambrano, you see his numbers. His opponent's only hitting .226 against 13 base on balls, 34 strikeouts, and 31 innings.
Royce chops that one foul.
Zambrano, 3-pitch pitcher. A fastball, slider, and a good changeup.
Outfield straight up for Clayton. Checks it up on the breaking ball. Jose Valentin has come out to hit for Josh Paul. As Royce goes down, 1 out.
A good changeup from Zambrano. Goes straight down. Almost, he just gets on top of it and turns it over. A lot of movement on it.
Number 22, Jose Valentin.
There are the numbers on Hose. 21 homers, 50 RBIs, hitting at .274. Can't get that one. Josh was 0 for 3 this afternoon.
He 1 for 4 as a pinch hitter.
High into right field, Ben Grieve. So 2 quick out, and here comes Ray Durham. Ray 0 for 4.
Second baseman, number 5, Ray Durham.
He's going out to center, going out to right. He's going out to left twice, once in foul territory.
Just another one of those guys that has that outstanding changeup. Hitters have a difficult time picking it up. Good arm speed.
One and one to count to Ray. Foul tip, hung on to. So now he's got a bristle up. The ball and 2 strikes. Just did get a piece of that one.
Saw a moment ago a close-up of how Zambrano sets up, as you see Yan now, a closer for the D-Rays. But Zambrano had that little change-up grip before he puts the ball in his glove. Now comes up a 2-seam fastball grip. And a circle change last time he had it right there. I don't know if he's giving it away or not.
As he strikes out Durham, so Zambrano has a 1-2-3 inning, couple of strikeouts. They go to the bottom of the 8th. They need 2 to tie. .6-4 Tampa Bay right now. Let's check out what's coming your way right here over WGN.
Robert De Niro and Jessica Lange star in this gritty portrayal of life on the streets of New York. Night and the City. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern on WGN Superstation.
Mark Johnson comes in for Josh Paul. First pitch, curveball strike to Chris Gomez. Gomez 1 for 3. And the count evens at 1. Beauty right on the outside corner. Well, we had a moment when we sent a big White Sox hello and happy birthday to a big Sox fan. Rick Long from Winter Haven and Haines City. Happy 50th, Hollywood. Wish I could be there, buddy. Here's a 2-2. It's full as he misses with the 2-2 curveball.
Sean's had to use a lot of pitches in his short time of work today. He's got ahead of most hitters, then evened it up.
Flared out into right field, and that's going to fall for a base hit.
Gomez now last 2 times up has hit some little flares over the infield for base hits. I hit them hard, but hit them in the right place.
And if you're just tuning in, we had a 24-minute delay earlier. Had a huge thunderstorm. Terrific lightning. And the stadium took 2 lightning hits. One of them took out the power, and either the same or another one took out some windows out there in center field. That ball hit well into center. Aaron. He's there, so Flaherty is retired. He's now 1 for 3.
And here's a reminder, the final half price Monday of the season is Monday, September 3rd. The White Sox take on the Indians at 6:05. All tickets are half the regular price. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
Here's Jason Tyner. Once again, he's been a pain in the derriere. He's 2 for 4, stolen base, and scored a couple. Also thrown out. Potential tying run at home plate.
Yeah, coming in as a career 400 hitter. 2 for 4 today. Raised that a little bit.
Tony just at the cut of the grass at third base. Has the count 0-1.
Well, it's so important for the Sox, obviously, to win every ball game, every day, the rest of the year. Can't do it. Going to take some losses here and there, but they got to get back on track. The pitching is just got to get a little more consistent.
Pitch out, 0-0. Everything's got to get more consistent if you're going to try to get back in this thing.
Well, they've got it. That's got to start. It's got to start with that pitching. You got to. He's the guy that's got the ball, and from there, you can back off and work on everything else. You're right. Everything needs some fine tuning.
Flips that one foul and out of play. So the count 1-2 to Jason Tyner. After this ball game, just 34 remaining. And Cleveland taking a long time hitting in the top of the 9th. They still have a 2-2 tie on the board. Two and two. Astros having some trouble at PNC. Pittsburgh hitting in the bottom of the first. They've scored 5 so far. And that curveball low. Full count. Sean throwing a lot of pitches.
Yeah, he's, you know, it seems like he's looking to get a little help from the hitters, trying to make some really fine pitches, because he's getting ahead of the hitters, and then he's trying to nibble on the corners, get them to chase the tough ones, and they're just not doing it. When a guy doesn't feel that good out there on the hill, you'll see him do that a bunch. Look for some help.
There goes the runner. And that ball ripped. Just foul. Just foul. Thank you. Boy, against us, this is a tough customer.
He doesn't strike out a lot, doesn't walk a lot. Almost got Gomez heading the wrong direction right there. Got one pick off today. Danny Wright caught Randy Wynn leaning the wrong way back in the 3rd.
There he goes again. And that ball hit into right field. Mag's a long way to go. Can't get there. Short hops the fence. They're waving Gomez around. Now here's a throw to third base. Not in time. it's a 7-4 Devil Ray lead. Once again, Jason Tyner.
Sean missed with his location, and it was right over the heart of the plate. Tyner nails this. For him, that's a deep driven ball. Maglia looked like he almost had a chance to get to this one, as no way. Playing a little too shallow. Couldn't get back and over in time.
So with one out, infield in. Here's Brent Abernathy. 0 for 3, but he has scored 2 runs and made one heck of a play to start a double play. That ball hit hard. Maggs is there. Tyner tags. Here's a throw, not in time. 8-4. Here's Greg Vaughn. He is 2 for 3. 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Full homers, 81 driven in. '70 scored. Outside. So 151 runs accounted for by Vaughn, hitting at .234 with 5 weeks to go.
Well, Greg Vaughn strikes out a lot. 121 strikeouts on the year, but he also draws a few free passes, as he has 63 of them. So he has a .325 on base percentage. Not bad for a guy in the low 2s.
Full count.
That will account for quite a few runs scored if you're going to get a lot of free passes. And Greg Vaughn runs very well.
And that's a base hit. Oh, Jerry Manuel out. Sean loaded parts, and we'll be back.
So Bill Pulsipher makes his first appearance in a White Sox uniform. You see his numbers right there with Boston on the season. Pulsipher, southpaw that will drop down on the left-handers a bit, 3/4. A little bit of deceptive motion and a run in on him. A breaking ball that sweeps away from him, and a changeup.
And here's Ben Grieve. He's 0 for 3. A walk, a strikeout, 2 groundouts. The 1 to short knocked in his 55th run. 8-12-0 for Tampa Bay. 4-8-0 for our Sox. Cleveland did not score in the top of the 9th. Well, they were hitting a long time. Hung him one right there. Get it back in a hurry, as Vaughn now is going to be held.
Yeah, that's all there was to that. Pulsipher fell behind in the count and then just hung one right there. Grieve let it get deep nicely. Let this ball get back. Not try and get out to it, where he probably would have ended up hooking it if he went to it. So I let it get back on him. Ends up keeping it fair and driving it into right field.
Boy, DJ, what you just said is so true. And that just takes seeing enough hangers to where you don't get too anxious and get out there and rope them foul. Here's Randy Wynn.
Yeah, and it's so hard, and especially if you're Grieve, who struggled a bit through the year. When you see him make a beautiful swing like that, you'd say, well, how the heck's he been struggling? Here you got a lefty. It throws him a breaking ball. He doesn't get out and around it, doesn't get anxious. Lets it come back to him. That was pretty much tailor-made or textbook.
2-0 the count. Steve Cox on deck. I know my first couple of years in the big leagues, every time I saw a hanger, I mean, I just killed it. Dead foul.
Just jumped out there real quick and just crushed it. Yeah. Well, that's what pitchers, if they're going to miss, they're hoping they've got enough off of it to get you out on the front foot and do exactly that.
3-0. Takes a while to learn. When you see it, all you got to do is just wait a split second.
Man, that amazing. Just a hair.
That load him up.
That's why when I love seeing a guy recognize a hanging curveball and you see him stop that against that front foot, he pushes against it rather than drifts out on top of that knee. He pushes against that front foot and lets it get back to him. Hand stayed back, and boom.
Cox is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Can't get the breaking ball. Just tuning us. Sox is 1 in the first, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the seventh. Tampa Bay 2 in the first, 3 in the fifth, 1 in the seventh, and 2 so far here in the eighth. That's popped up. Carlos Lee, watch out. Now he makes the catch. But some more damage done. We'll go to the ninth. We need 4 to tie. As you can see, we got some work to do and not a whole bunch of time to do it in. 27-year-old right-hander Esteban Yan coming on.
See, their closer, he's the man. Check out his numbers.
First pitch strike to Carlos Lee. Carlos 0 for 3, and he's hit it right on the button, right on the money all 3 times. He also has walked and scored. Wisely is lined out to center and wants to right. There's a breaking ball, and very quickly the count 0-2.
Yan, fastball, slider, splitty. Actually has not thrown the ball great. He's blown some opportunities this year.
Could not check it up.
And here's a reminder. The lease or rent a Comiskey Park Diamond Suite in 2001. These luxurious suites will provide your guests with first-class surroundings while they enjoy exciting White Sox baseball. For details and availability, call 312-674-1000.
Here's Maggs. First pitch strike. Maggs 2 for 4 with a run scored. Jan's got that tough motion for a right-hander. Jan, former catcher.
Yeah, that's pretty much his #1 weapon, is that motion. But mentioned, he has blown some saves this year. I think he's blown 8 opportunities.
6'4", 230 pounds. Checks it up. And guess where he's from?
Don't tell me. San Pedro.
Yeah.
De Macarís.
2-2. Good eye, Maggs. Don't help him out. Full count. Yankees have defeated the Angels 7-5. Mariners hitting in the bottom of the ninth, still tied at 2 with the Tribe. Two gone.
First baseman, number 14, Paul Clark.
Well, Jan's going to go with the slider, it appears. Oh no, the splitty. 3-2. That's a pretty nasty pitch. Jan, like others in the bullpen, a big strikeout guy.
So here's Konerko. He is 1 for 1 with 3 walks, a double, and 2 runs scored. I guess you can say the big man is just dealing.
Getting it and throwing it and having a hard time picking it up by the Sox hitters. That, as you said, that funky delivery. Kind of looks like he's just going to reach back and airmail one.
.95-mile-an-hour fastball foul back, so Sox down to the last bullet. That one's at 96. Eight 13-0 for Tampa Bay, 4-8-0 for the Sox. That ball hit into right field. Stay fair. It will. Thank you very much. One hops the fence. So Polly, a ground rule double to keep things going. Very good at that. Polly now 33 two-baggers.
There's a nice little label shot down the right field line. And again, you're running down that line. You're just watching it, hoping it's fair. And sure enough, you get it. And then you get to cruise into second as it hops out of the field.
So here's Canseco. He is 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. First pitch strike at 96. Splitter. Boy, a couple of big, strong men facing one another right here. Ball hit hard. Sandberg, another nice pick. Long peg. And this ball game is over. So the Sox have their 4-game winning streak snapped as Tampa Bay wins it by a score of 8-4, and we'll be back to wrap it up. And the final totals on game 2 of this 3-game set as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays squared up at a game apiece, snapping the Sox 4-game winning streak. For Tampa Bay, 8 runs, 13 hits, no errors. They stranded 10. For the Sox, 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. They also stranded 10. Joe Kennedy, the winner, 22-year-old southpaw, good-looking young left-hander. He is 5-8. Danny Wright takes the loss. He is 2-2. And right now, let's check out our Miller Genuine Draft Play of the game. Coming in the 5th inning, Greg Vaughn had a big afternoon. 3 for 4, a couple of runs scored, and a couple of RBIs.
Right there, he's just going to lace one right down that left field line. And as you just mentioned, he had a good day. Greg Vaughn has made it count by driving in the runs with almost each and every hit on the year.
So Vaughn with 24 doubles now, 24 homers, 81 RBIs, and we'll be back with more right after this. Once again, the final score, Devil Rays double up the Sox. They win at 8-4. And DJ, after that first inning, Danny Wright really came on and showed us some good stuff like he did in his first 3 starts.
Well, yeah, it just looked like there for a little while he was unable to reach out and let loose with that fastball. And right after that delay that we had in the middle of the 2nd inning there, it just took a few seconds for him to get loosened back up. It worked out. He threw the ball much better and then ran into more trouble as the 5th inning came along. Couldn't get out of trouble there, but he did show some promises getting that fastball back that we'd seen when he first got called up.
So the Sox now back to 500 at 64-64. And a reminder, our next telecast of White Sox baseball will be Thursday night when the Sox conclude their 10-game road trip against the Tigers from Comerica Park. Our broadcast begins at 6 p.m. over WCIU TV channel 26. Now for our WGN Superstation viewers, tune in Friday night when the Sox take on the Cleveland Indians from Comiskey Park. Join us at 7 p.m. for all the action right here over WGN TV. So for my partner, Darren Jackson, our director, Fillmore, Skip Ellison, our producer, John Walgren, this is a Hawk Ken Harrelson. So long, everybody.
Chicago White Sox baseball has been brought to you by Cold Filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. Your local Ford store. Quality people, quality products. The Illinois Lottery, where players have more fun. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by Toyota, a better way every day.
When it's sports you want, you want America's Superstation, WGN Superstation.